going on, everyone? Matthew here today with another guitar lesson, and today I'm really excited about this particular lesson because I'm going to be speaking about one of my favorite of all time guitarists, not just in the blues realm, but guitarists, the legendary B.B. King. And for the longest time I wanted to know, why do his licks sound so unique, so melodic, so warm, and so singable? A lot of that has to do with his stylistic approach to the blues and just his overall tone and his playing style. But today I'm going to be speaking mostly on the type of licks that he would play and how he would approach a blues shuffle and slow blues that make his playing very distinct to our ears. So B.B. King utilized a lot of what's called this major pentatonic scale. A lot of the times we hear that the blues scale, that's kind of the universal truth to all blues music, which for the most part it is, with a few exceptions, is just a minor pentatonic with one added note. So for reference, I'm going to be in the key of C for this entire video, here at the 8th fret. So here's what the minor pentatonic with that blue note, the flat 5, added in, sounds like. So we're playing our minor pentatonic shape as always. So we're essentially just adding that passing chromatic note in between the second set of notes if you're starting from the top string. And then one after on the G string. So, and then we go to the B string as normal. So it's really just that one extra note on the A and the G string. So one more time, I'm going to play it from the high E. So that's what we know and love as the blues scale. Well, what B.B. did, and a lot of other players as well, it's just sort of his unique sound. A lot of it came from the major pentatonic scale. Right? So all of this stuff that is major pentatonic, right? Because it's not here. That's minor sound. So a lot of it also has to do with training your ear to recognize the difference and listening to players that stray outside of what we know as the regular blues scale. Because although it does work over most blues shuffles and most slow blues contexts, what really makes your playing stand out and stick in people's ears as a melodic singable style of playing, like B.B., is using this major pentatonic because it's less common in the blues. So all the things in the B.B. King box all of that is major pentatonic as well, and it can be used in the minor way, but it's a slightly different fingering. So today I'm going to go over a few of my favorite B.B. King licks that I think that every guitar player should know and absolutely have in their arsenal. So I'm going to start with a classic lick that B.B. would use to begin a lot of slow blues numbers. Here's how it sounds. So that lick is pretty simple. 5 notes, right? So we're going to start, and this uses that. If you notice the fingering, it is straying outside of that minor pentatonic scale that our fingers are very used to as guitarists. And so this also is not only going to give you some stylistic diversity in your improvisation and your soloing, but it's also going to help you get new shapes under your fingers and build your dexterity, intonation, all that good stuff. So we're going to start on the 10th fret of the A string with our pinky finger, or your 3rd finger. I would recommend your pinky though. And then we're going to play the 7th fret of the D string. back to our pinky on the 10th fret, going down to the D string again. So we're kind of ascending this major pentatonic shape. So again, from the beginning, pinky on the A string, 10th fret, pointer on the D string, 7th fret, and then back to the 10th fret on the D string with your pinky. Cool. Then we're going to do a double stop, sliding from, you're going to have your pointer on the 7th fret, B string, middle finger on the 8th fret, G string. So you're going to play just those two strings and slide the shape a half step up. So that now we're in the C chord, since we're in the key of C. So again, it's, and then to finish this lick, you can resolve it two ways. You can resolve it on the root note here, the C note on the D string in the 10th fret, or what I was doing when I originally played it was, and BB did this a lot as well, he resolved it to the 5, which is a G note. So it's the A string in the 10th fret, so the same note you started on. So from the beginning, here we go. And it sounds just as good if you resolve it on the root. So that's up for you to decide ultimately what sound really catches your ear the most, or what sound you feel like, what note choice fits the song or the group you're playing with the best. So I think that's really cool because all of these licks have variations, and all of these licks, of course, anytime you learn any lick, you can make it your own by slightly changing one thing. Another slight variation I'll show you on this lick, it's a really cool beginning lick, like I said. When you, instead of doing sliding up on the double stop, you can do a hammer-on if you bar your first finger on the 8th fret in the bottom 4 strings, and instead of doing this slide, you bar, you bar and you hammer on the G string in the 9th fret. So for example, I'll do it in the lick context. And you're basically just playing a C chord, a C triad, that you would play kind of in that Hendrix style. Because it's a major chord and we're playing out of the major pentatonic, right? Can you give it a little bit of vibrato for that blues emotion? Cool. So that's lick number 1. It can be used in the beginning, really any part of a 12-bar blues or a slow blues or a shuffle, because it's sort of a motif, even changing chords, right? You can start licks that way. It's all of these licks sound good at really any point, and it's ultimately up to you. However, in my experience, it's easy to kick off a slow blues or a blues shuffle with that lick. Moving on to the next one, this is what it sounds like. So BB was famous for his bending and his vibrato, and we'll touch on both of those things with this lick. So the next lick is going to start barring the bottom 2 strings in the 8th fret again, since we're in the key of C, and we're going to play the B and E strings one after the other. So we're going to go B, and then we're going to use our 3rd finger and slide up, starting from the 11th fret of the B string up to the 13th. So from the beginning, it's, and we're going to shake it a little bit. You can either use your wrist or your actual finger or your hand. That's more of the Clapton thing, but for the BB thing, he went kind of side to side. So it's, then we're going to switch strings. You're going to put your pointer down to the, you're going to do the old roll, and roll it down from the B to the E string. And do a big bend, a whole step bend, on the E string, the 13th fret, but you're gonna try to catch the B string as well, so you get that cool, instead of just the one string, you're gonna get that train wreck kind of slide guitar blues sound if you catch them both. But if you can only do one at the time being, that's cool. Work your way up, and as you build your finger strength and your bending ability and your intonation, you can start to experiment with that more and learn a new style of the same lick. So from the beginning again. So you bend up, and then you do a quick pull off. Once you come back down and you do a quick pull off from the 13th to the 11th, and then you resolve it to the same note that you slid up to. So it's a C note, it's the root to resolve it, and it's at the 13th fret of the B string. So all together. So a lot of the times BB would do that. He would do a bend, and instead of going kind of like the Albert King, Stevie Ray style, he would do a quick pull off and resolve it to the root note. So that's a really cool one when you're going from the 1 chord to the 4 chord. So like, you start, and you add a little bend on with your first finger on the 11th fret on the E string for a little added tension after you resolve it. So, it sounds really good in the blues, because the blues, a good friend once told me as he was teaching me to play guitar back in the day, the blues lives between the major and minor third. And if you're not big into music theory, that's cool. Those of you that are, however, will get that. And it only really occurred to me years later what he was really talking about, and that part of the lick kind of exemplifies that. Cool. So the last lick I'm going to show is from the legendary position of the guitar that we know as the BB box. Again, it's just an extension of this major pentatonic idea. So here's what the lick sounds like. With the signature vibrato, side to side, with the wrist. So it's kind of this motion here. Yeah. So we're going to do a double stop. Again, starting with a chop on the double stop. Middle finger on the 14th fret of the G. Pointer finger on the 13th fret of the B. Again, that C note. So we're just going to hit those two strings. If you're able to mute and hit all the strings, but only sound those two ringing, great. If you can't, just aim for those two strings. And do your best to mute the high E string. Oh, I'm getting an accidental harmonic there. I have a bad habit of doing that. So that's how you start it. So with that chop on that double stop, then you're going to put your third finger on the 15th fret of the B string, sorry. And you're going to do a pre-bend. So you're not going to bend up, you're going to have it pre-bent. So then you're going to bend up before you strike the note, then you're going to hit the B string as you're bent up and let it down. So here's what that looks like up close. Then you're going to play your first finger on the 13th fret. And then you're going to quickly play your second finger on the G string, again in the 14th fret. So and then one more note, you just resolve it to that root note on the B string and the 13th fret. And you hit that signature B.B. King vibrato. That's how he'd really make it sing. So I like to do it a little slower for smoothness, because to me that's what my ear enjoys. However, if you're looking for that authentic, super authentic BB like sound, you you would do it with a little more tenacity, with a little bit more intensity there, a little more shakiness to it. But be careful not to bend it out of tune. It still kind of sounds good in the blues context. So I hope you enjoyed these three licks that B.B. King really played a lot. However, he obviously was not the very first person to play these licks. Nothing is really new under the sun. However, he is most famous for that style of playing, that sweet major pentatonic sound, and the way that he truly blended the major and minor pentatonic scales, which you often hear people talk about. However, it's sort of hard to convey that unless you really have a good sense of the major pentatonic as well as the minor pentatonic. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit the like button and leave a comment if you think I missed anything or if there's anything you'd like to see in the future. Alright, peace out everyone. Hope you have a good weekend.